Ladies and gentlemen, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Anyway, we're on Spotify, Google Podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome to Video Games Are Hard, episode 33. We got Sid here. We got me, Trey.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today
to witness the size of this W for all the Xenoblade fans like me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very excited. And
so, yeah, the Nintendo Direct happened yesterday.
Yep, we're going to talk mainly about that, I guess.
Well, yeah, that's like a big portion, I feel. Yeah. Like, especially for guest lists. It's weird that the guest list always kind of lines up with Directs. Like,
I guess that was just pretty convenient.
Well, like last one too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It just happened, and we were just like, oh, okay, so we have a guest list this week. It's not like we have a guest, and they're just like, well, we have to talk about the Direct, and they're just like, yeah, but this is my episode, you know? Like, what the fuck? What?
Yeah.
Well, you know, maybe I don't care about Nintendo.
I think a fun thing we can do for guests, like whether it's repeat guest or not, is just sort of go onto a topic that's not guest related and have their input, just like have them pitch in and stuff.
I feel like that's what we do with most guest episodes. We just kind of we start with them, and then we're just like, okay, let's talk about.
Anyway, what are your thoughts on blank?
Yeah,
and then
we would talk about critiquing, being able to critique Nintendo about Pokemon, even though Quaniza thinks that Arceus is the best.
Yeah, we're thinking of getting our resident Pokemon expert Quan back on again to talk about Arceus because he loves that game. Apparently,
apparently he loves it. We were talking shit about it last week, but talking about it.
Like, yeah, it looks like dog. Well, no, to be fair, even Quan says it looks like dog shit.
Yeah.
But he says it's a really fun game though. So
it's the best. It's the best Pokemon game. Quote.
But yeah, I watched the Donkey video about it. And he's like, you know, we got all these games. You got Red, Crystal, Emerald, all of them. But if you think about it, this is really just one game. So Arceus is Game Freak's second game.
Whoa!
So it's like, yeah, pretty good for a second game, yeah.
That is a pretty good.
Anyway, I think before we get really into the meat of the Nintendo Direct stuff.
Sure.
Really quick update about Glitch Infinite. Oh, yeah. Which is, for those who don't know, it's the Smash tournament I'm going to be going to not play Smash.
You're not going to participate?
No, I don't play Ultimate at all, believe it or not.
Oh, that'd be so funny. You just play without your Luigi.
To get just, I think I'm going to be literally the worst Ultimate player in that venue.
Just whip out your Luigi, bro. We played.
Yeah. We played like 3 years ago. Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be going there. Originally, it was going to be in January. Then it was pushed back to next week in late February. It's going to be the 18th through the 20th, I believe, because of COVID stuff. And it should be going on this time. Hopefully it doesn't get canceled.
It only got delayed 20 days?
It was like a little over a month because it was mid-January before.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you know, COVID cases have gone down since then, so we should be good. And they're also making us like be double vaxxed, have a proof of a negative test and everything, so it's pretty intense.
Oh, proof of a negative test. That's interesting.
Yeah, honestly, I got to figure out what proof even means for that, but I have a test here, so I got to figure that out. Anyway, the big update with that is because, you know, it's a Smash tournament, but there's going to be a speedrun side event, which I'll participate in. I'm actually going to be the very first run of the speedrun marathon they're doing there.
Oh, no.
I got to put on a show over the first thing. It'll be, I don't know, like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. I forget the exact time on the 18th. But so originally it was going to be an 80% run, which is the category I've been doing for so many months. I would just go on there, do 80%, Reed would commentate with me. It'd be a nice, good old jolly time.
Yeah.
It's still going to be a good old jolly time, but I'm actually going to now be doing 96 shines, a longer category.
It could be jollier even.
It might be jollier. Seeing me fuck up 100 coins that are left and right.
Yeah, you can keep going.
Yeah. So anyway, the Dark Souls 2 runner Distortion 2, who, by the way, I wanted to see that run because I love Dark Souls 2 so much.
Yeah.
He can no longer go, unfortunately. So, are we Milo? I'll just call him Milo. He came to me like, yo, Trey, is it possible you can like add a new run to your thing? We got to fill this space. And I was like, could I can maybe add like SSX Tricky. That's pretty easy to derust. And then there's like a pause. Then 5 minutes later, I'm like, or, you know, I could extend my Sunshine run to like 96 shines or something. He's like, perfect, 96 shines. Let's do that. I just want to mention, this actually happened twice. So before even like the first go around of Glitch Infinite, when he was asking what I wanted to run, I suggested SSX Tricky.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I guess I'll do Sunshine 80%.
you just keep like shoving in SSX Tricky, and they're just like, that sounds like an idea, and you're just like, okay, Sunshine.
There were 2 times I tried to like sort of subtly hint towards, I'll do Tricky. I think he ignored me both times.
Yeah,
it's like
that sounds right.
As if it like wasn't even remotely an option. Dude, poor SSX Tricky. No one cares about that game. Just let it be known, I tried to get Tricky into it, but instead, I just extended my Sunshine run. But that should still be good. I've been actually de-rusting in that, and I'm planning on doing more runs of that before the marathon starts. So
yeah, I hope so.
I want to at least get like a 2:35 or better before it starts. I could probably do it, honestly.
Yeah, I think it would be so sick. So 96 Shines is the category that I put the most time into.
It's the Sid category.
It's the Sid category. And watching you do it, it was fun. I enjoyed myself.
I'm glad you did.
I think it would be so sick if I could go and just do the hundos.
We're like theory crafting the ideal run. I do the 80% stuff. You do the hundos, and then
we get Reed to do the reds.
Yeah, just Reed do reds randomly. He's going to be sick, trust me. But yeah, at least Reed's going to be commentating with me. We may get like some other random non-SMSers, because I think me and Reed are like the only Sunshine runners going.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be a jolly old time, like I said.
So. A jolly old time. So good luck.
Yeah, thank you. And I just want to clarify, that's the reason why I've been doing 96 Shines after. I'm like, dude, I'm so close to a potential peeb in 90%. I can taste it. But, I got to interrupt it briefly. And it's been a nice break, because 90%, it just wears on you so much with such a razor thin margin of error if you get the luck that you need.
Doesn't it feel nice to play a category where you can easily be 50 seconds ahead?
Yes, dude. I was enjoying myself yesterday, because even though I died in Goopy Inferno and I died in Pen of 6 Reds.
Oh my God. Really?
And I was like plus a minute. I was like, I can still PB this. And
That's
then
crazy.
later that run, I was like minus 50. And then I lost an entire minute in Bianco hundreds.
Yeah. It just feels so nice. Like you were talking about it later on. It's like, oh man, it feels so nice to run a longer category that I can easily PB. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I could just sort of chill out and not be like super try hard the whole time. And
exactly.
but anyway, that's the Glitch Infinite update. I'm going to be heading there next week. Hopefully, if COVID stuff doesn't hold me back, if I don't do that right. I don't know. We'll see.
Hold me back.
Don't hold me back, COVID.
Hold me back, COVID. Hold me back.
No, don't do it.
Don't hold me back. Okay. So yesterday, the direct happened.
Yeah. And honestly,
this is our segue.
straight out the gate, I just got to say, for me personally, best direct I've seen in years.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
But I know you have a different take.
We can get into the takes later.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we can go through like what they had and how like our interest peaked with certain things. So the first thing I have on my list, like they went through a bunch of stuff. The first thing I have on my list is online Switch Wii Sports. It's Wii Sports.
We're calling it Wii Sports.
It's Wii Sports. You can't.
It's Wii Sports with the Xbox 360-esque avatars.
Yeah, it's just like, they're just like, it's Nintendo Switch Sports, and you're just like, no, it's Wii Sports.
Nah, dude, we're calling it Switch Wii Sports.
Switch Wii Sports.
You can't have sports without Wii in it for some reason.
Yeah, because it's Wii. Like Wii Sports is just, it's 15 years old at this point.
Yeah,
and it's one of the most sold games of all time.
Dude, what if Switch Wii Sports sells 100 million copies?
There's no fucking way.
That'd be more copies than Switch is sold.
It's going to be demoted to like what Ring Fit is, but it's like apparently Ring Fit's fairly successful, so that's cool.
Yeah, and also
it's going to be down there.
Dude, I had an idea a while ago actually that Quan gave to me, was to do a video about like the insane Japanese Ring Fit speedrunner who I forget his name. Okay. But he does like this big marathon, like 10-hour plus run of the highest difficulty doing 100%.
Damn.
And it's like super intense. He's like, this guy's like jacked too.
Yeah.
You got to be like super fit to do this whole run. And like, like actually. Never got around to that video though. So.
Hey, what 2028?
Possibly. 2028 is when everything is going to come together.
Literally, we're going to play that puzzle game with KO and Ginger. We're going to put out that video that we've been talking about for a year and a half.
Yep.
It's going to be literally the culmination of our entire lives.
Yeah, just stick around till 2028 and we'll be insane. So
online Wii Sports. It's online though, which is interesting, but I don't think I care.
Yeah, it's like, wow, you can play volleyball. Then they're explaining the rules of volleyball. Like, you can set it, you can spike it. It's like, wow, okay.
Like, cool. I don't feel like the fun of bowling is like, oh, okay, so you can get demolished by the person that plays too much bowling. Like,
I think the novelty of swinging your arm back and then swinging it forward with a Wiimote, Joy-Con, is kind of gone now.
Sure, but we haven't had a good game for that in a while. We've had 1-2 Switch.
Is that gonna? I bet it's gonna feel different using the gyro to do it versus like the Wii sensor bar.
You know what I'm gonna miss? I'm gonna miss the mini game from. Is it 1-2 Switch that has the mini game where it's like, simulate eating a Subway sub?
Did you have 1-2 Switch?
No.
When they not gonna lie, when they were first like frame one of this trailer, I was like, it's 1-3 Switch. It's the sequel. But no, I was wrong.
I like those mini games. It's just like, oh, count how many ice cubes are in this cup that if you shake this Joy-Con, it sounds like and feels like 3 ice cubes are in it. It's like, oh, okay.
Do games aside from Odyssey and that really utilize the HD Rumble that much?
No way.
Dude, I love the HD Rumble, but it barely ever gets used.
What is HD Rumble about Odyssey?
The rooms where like a part of it vibrates, and that's where the moon is.
Is that HD Rumble or is that just Rumble?
I think like because the Rumble sort of like clarifies to you where the moon is in the room.
Yeah,
I think it's like directional rumble.
Oh, it's directional.
Or like you can feel it rumbling from a certain direction, and that's where you go to get the moon. Okay, so I consider that HD. But yeah, even though calling it HD Rumble is a dumb name to begin with, but that's besides the point. Okay.
So all the mini games are back or whatever. You can play volleyball. Great.
You can play bowling. Wow.
You can play bowling as well. We're interested to see if the mini games are back. But yeah, that's kind of interesting to me. The thing about most of these in the Direct is that they announced the thing and I was like, oh my God, Switch Wii Sports? Sick. And then they kept talking about it. And then the more they talked about each thing on this list, I got less and less excited.
You're like, wait, I just remembered how lame this is.
Well, it's not even that I remember. It's just like, oh, it's lame. Or like, I don't even know. So like that with Wii Sports to some extent, I probably won't get Switch Wii Sports. Maybe in some world I'll get it. I don't know. But yeah, and then Mario Kart 8 DLC.
Mario Kart 9 is never happening.
There's still rumblings. Apparently there's still rumblings about it. There was supposed to be a new thing. There was supposed to be a new like spin on Mario Kart with Mario Kart 9. That was the rumor like a month ago
and
or so.
All rumors are true, as we know.
And then they're just like, oh, okay, so everybody was certain Mario Kart 9 was going to be mentioned today. And then it was just like, okay, so Mario Kart 8, you know that game that came out 8 years ago and the deluxe version came out, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago? Hey, it's getting 48 new tracks.
Which is, that's a super hefty update.
That is a hefty update.
That is triple the amount of tracks in the entirety of Double Dash added to one game.
Yeah. Is it triple?
Yes, Double Dash only has 16 tracks.
Damn.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
Like Double Dash, it's great to speedrun, but it's actually like it's not a very big game. Like there's not much to it. You get 2 racers, one person doing the items, but like in the battle mode's cool, but like only 16 tracks? Come on.
So Trey and I did a live react on my Twitch channel to this Direct just for fun. Because like I think we streamed it on your channel like 2 times ago, and I think we did like a private call this time, and we reacted to the Video Game Awards as well.
Yeah, while I was grinding King Boo.
While you were grinding King Boo, and then I streamed this one this time, and I was just kind of like, it's kind of nice to just stream it. Like no matter who like shows up, like the chat was active, which is nice, and then it was just kind of us two just talking about whatever. So if anybody wants to like get in on that stuff. When there's a Nintendo Direct or like the Video Game Awards or whatever, and we deem like, oh, it's something video game related that we could react to, then like, I don't know, pop by one of our streams. We're probably streaming it, maybe.
Or you can pop by the other 100 people doing the same thing.
True, but like if you want specifically our takes.
My following page looks so funny during this thing because like it's just a sea of red screens, like Nintendo Direct, Nintendo Direct, Nintendo Direct.
Yeah. So my take of the Mario Kart 8 thing is just like I don't I've played enough Mario Kart 8, and I don't really care for the mechanics too much. Like, it feels too. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like enough.
I played Mario Kart 8 one time at Loader's house, and that was it because I never owned it.
Yeah.
And it's a fun little casual game. It's got cool tracks for sure, but it's never really gonna fully interest me as long as the MTs are fully automatic.
Sure.
Because I just prefer the skill of the manually done mini turbos from like Double Dash and stuff.
But I think deep down, like, I don't care about Mario Kart now. Like,
yeah,
I think I'm done.
It's sort of. They got to bring back F-Zero. God damn it.
Imagine you were kind of memeing on it, but like imagine the Nintendo Direct yesterday was the Disney Mario Kart or the Disney Kart, and then Mario Kart 8 DLC, and then they were just like F-Zero, and it's just like what is this Direct like?
Wow, it's like all racing games. Holy crap.
That'd be crazy. But yeah, so they're adding 48 new tracks. So exciting for Mario Kart 8 fans.
And honestly, I understand the updating Mario Kart 8 business model. It's just like GTA 5.
It is paid DLC.
It's such a big game already, and I guess to Nintendo, it feels like the most like extravagant Mario Kart can really get, even though I'm sure it can be improved in some ways.
Sure.
So it's like, why bother making a new game if we already have the base game here and can just add a ton of tracks to it?
We can just have everybody pay for paid DLC.
What would Mario Kart 9 have that 8 doesn't? Just like slightly better graphics?
Hype.
Yeah, it would hype it up, but like realistically, what could you really add to Mario Kart now?
I'm not going to buy these DLCs. Probably.
I don't even have the game in the first place, so I'm definitely not.
But like I'd probably get a 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, so this exists. And then I'll skip this for now. We can talk about that. Samu Mode Dread. That's my note. So Metroid Dread is getting a Samu Mode, which is Samurai Man, who's been doing like a bunch of hitless runs of a bunch of different games, including Dread.
Yeah, he's already done a no-hit run of Dread, and they added a mode where you cannot get hit.
Yeah, well, you can get hit and you can game over. Like, it's like, so in Dead Space 2, there's a mode where it's like really, really hard, but it's not one hit kill, but you only have 3 saves.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you die, you go back to the 3 saves that you have throughout the entire campaign, which I beat. Dread is, I'm assuming it's going to be like that because it says game over. It doesn't say you start from the beginning, because I feel like that's an important thing. That's an important
I wonder, or is it just that like you have unlimited continues, but you only have 1 HP?
Probably. I think that's probably it.
So that's not like as long as you learn all the enemy patterns and boss patterns, that sounds doable. Yeah,
I assume that's right, because that would be insane. But you know us, we love difficulty in video games. We got bummed out that Back 4 Blood just kind of lessened their stranglehold on the difficulty switch.
Yeah, we also got bummed out that your PC literally couldn't handle it for some reason.
I could probably figure it out, but I also don't want to try it.
Yeah, we don't want to tempt fate. Right.
I don't want to go. I don't want to boot up the game to go into the menus.
You don't want to ruin your brand new PC already.
Yeah, but then they also made a Trey mode.
Yes, so they added the one-hit death mode. And also the rookie mode, which is for people like me who suck at games.
Yeah,
it's the Trey mode.
You get more health for health orbs. And
we noticed that average Trey hasn't purchased this game yet. He probably was intimidated, so we added a mode just for him, the rookie mode.
And then you're just like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna buy Dread."
Hell yeah, now I can finally play this game. Let's go.
Video games are finally easy. So Advance Wars.
Yes, this is more up my alley, I guess.
For sure. Way for sure.
Because I was a huge Advance Wars fan growing up. I love Advance Wars 2 as well. I'm definitely going to get this remake. I like that they have voice acting. That's cool for the text boxes. Mm-hmm. The COs themselves look animated pretty well. I'm not a big fan of the 3D models of the units, to be honest.
They look kind of cheesy.
They're very shiny and plasticky looking. Which I guess, in the first place, like, the sprite work in GBA was always sort of, dude, the sprites are so good, though. Like, the pixel art on the tanks and the infantry is, like, it's so pristine looking. Mm-hmm. But these 3D models, they just look kind of like, oh, here's a cartoony war game, a little cartoony 3D thing.
Here's, like, a kid's toy.
Yeah, like a kid's thing.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about it, but, maybe I'll get used to it. And, like, definitely The water looks very good. As a Sunshine player, I can respect good-looking water.
I love that that's the line. It's just like, oh, the water looks good. It's like, oh, how would you know? It's like, yeah, I play Sunshine all the time. It's like, oh yeah, that's the best looking water.
I can judge water when I see it.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I don't. They showed off some new COs that they didn't show before. I don't think like they showed Sturm, who's like the big bad head of Black Hole Army. Flak was there. And yeah, honestly, I'm just excited. It's going to be, I guess, Advance Wars 1 combined with 2 still. And definitely, I'm going to get it. Probably stream it because I already have experience with the game. So
yeah.
Why not?
I'm hoping that you don't run into the same thing that you ran into with the new golf game.
Well, here's the thing, right? You really can't mess this game up.
Can you not?
Because it's still the same base game, I'm assuming, just with a layer of paint over it.
Oh, okay.
Whereas Mario Golf, we're just going to totally ruin any mechanics that can give you like an expert edge. We're just going to make it super casual.
You liked Toadstool Tour? Well, forget that.
You like being rewarded for frame perfect timing? Yeah, well, fuck you.
Yeah, well, fuck you.
Anyway, Advance Wars, I'm going to get it. So yeah.
All right. Last thing before we get into like discussion things. Mario Strikers. New Mario Strikers coming out. Power Up. What's it called? Mario Strikers Powered Up Kick Game.
Yeah. You know, I gotta say, I'm happy for the Mario Strikers fans, but I haven't played a Mario Sonic game before.
Mario Sonic.
Instead of soccer, I just, verbal typo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's called Mario Strikers Battle League. So I played a little bit of Mario Strikers. My cousin owned it. And by owned it, meaning it's in a storage room somewhere. And I've asked for my cousin's like GameCube games. And he's been like, yeah, like when I get them out of storage. And that was 2.5 years ago. So that'll never happen. But I played a fair bit. I know people really like this game. I was surprised that they kept, with the trailer, I was surprised they kept the animation style. Yeah,
I gotta say, I love that animation style.
It's sick.
Of the 2D... flamey. I don't even know how to describe it.
The graphic novel thing. Like I wouldn't say anime. I wouldn't say anime, but it's just like definitely graphic novel.
The most anime a Mario game has looked.
It's very comic-y. And it looks really sick. I'm hesitant because like what I was talking about with the online Switch Wii Sports, they kept talking and I got less and less excited because what they were talking about was like the power-up kick eventually. And just like, oh, you can get you collect these orbs and then distract your opponents somehow.
Yeah, while your opponent's distracted, do this special move.
Like,
what do they mean by distracted?
Exactly. It's just like, oh
shit, is the pizza here? Yeah.
Oh, bro, the pizza's here. It's it.
Oh, no, a special move. No.
And they get a goal. And it just reminds me of Mario Power Tennis. And that's what kind of like... all of Mario Power Tennis was lead up to using your special to just clear the court and your opponent just kind of loses that round.
So it's not as much about actually playing soccer.
The usage of power-ups kind of layman's it up. Layman's it up for me.
Layman's it for the layman's.
Layman's it for the layman's, but I don't know for sure how it's going to work. Like they do have the shells and the different items that are usually used, so who knows? Like the main mode is going to be the orb. Or they just have an orb. Oh, collect these orbs. It's like what the fuck. All right. But
since like the reception of Mario Tennis and the new Mario Golf, I'm more hesitant about new Mario sports games.
I feel like people liked the new Mario Tennis. Like I heard nothing about golf. The only thing I know about golf is you.
I thought tennis died off like hella quick.
Yeah, I know that Mango played it a fair bit, but maybe you're right.
Like I saw Valu play it once and then never again.
I hope they take some cues from those and make this real fun. But either way, like I don't think it's a game that I'm super interested in.
I'm probably not gonna get it, but
unless like week 2, they're just like, oh my god, this is the best fucking Mario Sonic game ever, and then it's just like, okay, let's play this game online. And see how it goes.
I would eat my shorts if that happened. But
you can customize Mario.
You can put a weird doofy helmet on him. It's sick.
You can put a weird doofy helmet on him. What? Okay.
No, gotta wear your helmet when you're playing soccer.
Exactly. Portal.
Yeah, there's this brand new game called Portal coming for the Switch.
I love
it looked kind of it. You like shoot this gun and you can like teleport. It's crazy.
I love that every time, and you were talking about it. I love that every time they're just like, "Hey, you've never heard of Portal before because it's 15 years old. This is what Portal is," and we're sitting there going like,
"Yeah,
the fuck do you think we are?"
We're gonna explain to you what Portal is on this thing being watched by like 99% gamers.
It's just Portal 2 is a decade old,
and Mario Bros is a game where you jump.
And Mario's just just like you were just like, it's like if they showed Mario and it's just like, oh yeah, okay, you jump on these Goombas.
Jump on the Goombas and rescue the princess in this wild adventure. It's like
whoa, this puzzle game, you shoot the orange portal over there and you shoot the blue portal and then you can walk through it, and everybody's going like, yeah, this game's 14 years old, 15 years old.
Nintendo assumes that like some people just never steer outside of Mario or something.
It's just so like they didn't even say like, oh, the classic Portal franchise, or they just went, oh, this is a new game.
Well, not that, but
well, yeah, but it sounded
just like Portal is coming to Switch or something like that. I don't know.
So yeah, Portal and Portal 2, right? So both of them. That's cool.
Dude, I still haven't played the single player of Portal 2.
You should probably.
I've only played the co-op. I don't know why I haven't bothered. I should. I love puzzle games.
Do you own it?
No.
It's probably cheap.
I had it on like 360, I think.
Probably. Go for it.
Which my brother has. Go ahead.
It's probably cheaper on Steam than it would be on Switch. Even
it's probably like $5 on Steam.
Do you want to talk about XCOM 2 real quick?
Sure, I bought it.
Yeah, I don't even really understand it. I was looking through the eShop last night, looking for a game that we'll talk about in a second. But I found XCOM 2, and Trey's a huge, you're a huge turn-based strategy game guy, obviously, and talking about fucking Advance Wars. I keep forgetting Advance Wars' name. I'm like Armored Force.
You just think it's a Game Boy Advance game, Advance Wars.
And. See, that's a good way to remember it. And I was looking through the shop and I found XCOM 2 and it was like $15. I'm like, oh, that's sick. And it was like a pack in with 4 DLCs in the expansion pack. I'm like, oh, this looks dope. What is it on Steam? And the closest thing I could find was that they were named the same. It was like the complete collection of both. I think they're slightly different in like entirely, but the Steam version of it, which I think has
slightly different entirely.
Well, slightly different. Not entirely. Slightly different. Slightly different to one another.
They're slightly entirely different. All right.
Like the Switch version had XCOM 2, an expansion pack, and 4 DLCs, and the Steam version was XCOM 2 and then 4 DLCs, but not the same DLCs. I'm not quite sure. Like they were differently worded. I don't really know.
But they were the same thing.
Maybe like customizable packs or something. I don't know if they were actually expansion packs or anything, but the Steam version seemed to have less stuff than the Switch version. And the Switch version was $15 Canadian, which ended up being $12 American. Yep. And on Steam, it was $128 Canadian. And I was just like...
It was 75% off whatever it was on Steam. So,
I was just like, Trey, you have to get this.
on Switch, sorry.
Because we were talking about XCOM yesterday. It's like, oh, bro, you should play XCOM, even like during the Direct. And then XCOM was there, and I was like, hey, Trey, you should get this.
I always wanted to get around to XCOM, so I was like, yeah, seems like a good time to buy it. So I got it.
So it'll be off sale now. Everybody.
Yeah, sorry. By the time you hear this, it's not going to be on there, but
it might be on sale for like another hour or two. So
maybe I don't know how long it's going to last,
but we also don't know what the contents are. So, but except for the expansion pack, the important things is like. The equivalent expansion pack and base game was like $100 in maybe $120 on Steam. 110? Yeah, 110. And then the equivalent it is in that $12 package on Switch. So it's got to be worth it.
The one thing I know about XCOM is that it's similar to Fire Emblem, also has a hit system where there's a hit rate. Thing about Advance Wars is there is no hit rate system. Everything is going to hit. Oh. It's just like countering each other based on what unit it is type of game.
Ooh.
But hit rates are actually in XCOM. And I think I always hear it's like notorious for like 99 hit, you'll still miss it.
Yeah.
Maybe they like a newer game. Maybe it's like only XCOM 1. I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited to try it. So
keeping it on turn-based strategy. we have one more thing to talk about.
Ooh.
Well, we have a few more, but Triangle Strategy.
Oh yeah, you actually played the demo for that.
Yeah, so the direct was just like, oh, later today the demo is going to come out, and I went on the eShop, and this is where I found XCOM 2 and stuff. But I went on the eShop to find the demo, and it wasn't quite out yet, so I had to like refresh the store a few times, and then it was out. I'm like, dope. So I actually ended up playing the entirety of the demo before this podcast recording last night, and so it is a turn-based strategy game. The animation style's pretty cool. It looks nice. It looks like Octopath Traveler, right?
Yep.
And but so I was gearing up for like a turn-based strategy game.
It's dog shit.
But like we've been memeing on it for its title for months.
Yeah, no matter what, we're still going to call it Project Triangle Strategy.
That's what my title was.
Yeah,
it was just like Project Triangle Strategy working title.
Working title. Yeah.
And then it was just like Triangle Strategy, and just like, wow, that's such a hype.
How did they come up with that
title.
name? Holy crap! Wow.
But it's funny that Triangle Strategy means no sense. I think at some point it was supposed to be called like the Salt Iron Wars.
Yeah, so, okay, was there a single triangle in that game?
No.
What the fuck?
I don't think so.
Why is it called that?
I don't even think there's like a weapon triangle that I ran into. There isn't like spears versus arrows versus axes versus swords. Dude, there isn't any of that.
That's the most confusing name I've ever heard. Like, what?
But I played for 4.5 hours. So the demo lasted me 4.5 hours because I watched all of the cutscenes and stuff. It's all voiced, but it also has text to it. And so I played 4.5 hours, and the story is whatever, you know. Some people were critiquing in my chat, like Psychonauter and Golden Devil were both critiquing the fact that this world building fucking blows.
See, I respect they're both intelligent people, so they probably know.
But it was just one scene where they were just like, oh, one group of people walked towards, and then it was just the description of who they were from the perspective of the king or like the king's right hand man. So it was just kind of it was very like, oh, this is this person, move on. This is this person. Move on. This is General Avlora. So I know a few names, but that's it. But so they went through all that, and so I played 4.5 hours. Do you want to know how many fights there were?
3. You already told me.
There were 3 fights.
Wait, so by fight, do you mean going through a map of enemies and stuff?
Yes.
So like 3 chapters.
3 chapters,
or whatever they call it, like a chapter. Is it like Fire Emblem or Advance Wars?
No, I assume there can be multiple fights per chapter and stuff, but I played through 3 chapters of story.
Yeah.
And in that were 3 different fights.
So, but like a fight has like multiple enemies, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah. I thought you meant like I fought 3 enemies and that was it.
No, I have my team of, I had my team of 4, and then I had my team of like 8, and then I had a team of 7 that I had to work with. And like the different mechanics of each character is cool and stuff, but I'm not a turn-based strategy guy at all. I played XCOM a while ago, and I played Fire Emblem a while ago, but I've never been like, oh, I'm great at these games. And I started on hard, and I lost the tutorial mission.
What were the difficulties? Was it like normal and hard?
I think it's like very easy, normal, hard. That's what
okay, I just gotta say, I respect this game already with its difficulty options versus Fire Emblem.
Yeah,
because in Fire Emblem, they're too afraid to call it easy. They call the easy mode normal because they don't want to like degrade you or something, I guess.
No, they definitely have the very easy. And
so
easy
like
in, this one.
In Fire Emblem, for some reason, the hard mode is essentially the normal mode.
Yeah,
but I guess in this game, hard is actually hard. Okay.
Well, it's hard for me. I don't know how to play these games, so I was just like, I'm a gamer. And
rather, the way I should phrase it is like, hard mode in Fire Emblem is the intended difficulty. But I guess in Triangle Strategy, normal would be the intended difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference there.
The mechanics of this game are like, if they flank you from behind, if they hit you from behind, it'll crit no matter what.
Ooh, okay.
And if they have 2 people, if they have one person on each side of your character, or if you have one person on each side of their like enemy, it'll hit, and then the other person behind them will also strike them.
Ooh, I like that positional thinking type stuff. That's cool.
So my first fight, I didn't know anything. I also used like a damage boost buff on my person that does the damage boost buffs by accident because I thought it was like an AoE attack.
Yeah.
So I was just getting the hang of it, and everybody died. And I was like,
you
okay.
just buff the enemy up instead.
I buffed the enemy by not buffing anybody good, and then I died, and I don't know if there's permadeath in this game because one of the characters did die when I won the tutorial mission, but it might be just the tutorial mission.
Yeah, tutorial missions usually don't have permadeath. So.
But it didn't feel tutorially. Like, it showed me a bunch of tutorials, but it didn't feel like it was holding my hand through the whole thing, which I appreciated.
That's good.
But again, there were only 3 fights throughout 4.5 hours of gameplay, and like maybe I'm in so deep now that I will buy the game and actually try to play it through, but it is also $80 Canadian, so I'm not really super looking forward to playing this or like purchasing that and then playing it for another 3 hours and being like, yeah, this is still fucking just as lame. But I like the characters and stuff, and it's interesting the story with the colony and the domain. They said domain a few times, and I've never seen it spelt this way. It was DESMEINE, I think. It's like Old English.
I don't even know what that is.
Like, it's like a domain. Just domain.
Oh.
But
okay.
It's just spelt differently and pronounced differently.
That's weird, but okay.
But yeah, so I went through that, and I'm glad I did, but it's just kind of it seems it's a turn-based strategy game. If you like turn-based strategy, you'll like it, unless you really hate slow as fuck beginnings, because this is really slow. It really, I didn't even get to the burn. Like, it's a slow burn. There's no burn yet. I got like past the third fight, and I was like, and in the second fight, I turned it down to normal, because I was like, man, there's no shot. Like, I'm not good enough at these games to beat it. So I turned down to normal. And then the third fight was boring as shit. So like, I don't know. Like, I just like cleaned right through everything. So maybe I should have just kept it on hard the whole time. I don't know.
It's like the jump from what's the easiest mode in Back 4 Blood called again? Casual? Recruit.
Maybe
it's like the jump from recruit to veteran in that.
Yeah.
In the old update, not the new one.
But yeah, so that's Project Triangle Strategy. Maybe I'll buy it. Maybe I'll play it. Who knows? But
hey, I'm glad you played it for the meme though, because it's the title that we memed on for months. So.
Triangle Strategy. Woo! Let's fucking go.
Working title.
Assassin's Creed Ezio Trilogy.
Right. So this includes Brotherhood, the game that we actually did a speedrun race of.
Yeah.
And we are excited to figure out, 1, if you can skip the Desmond cutscenes.
Yeah.
And 2, if you can actually gallop through Rome. Because a weird thing with this game on PC is that you are limited in your horse speed in like the main Rome hub world if you don't have an SSD. But if you have an SSD, you can actually gallop at full speed through Rome. I guess it's like the game's way of limiting the processing power you would need in case something bad happens.
Yeah, the loading.
But maybe in the Switch version, you can gallop in Rome regardless. So who knows?
I'm purely buying this. I would love to see them. I would love to see Assassin's Creed 2 have some sort of polish to it, because I know the original Assassin's Creed 2 looked like utter shit.
Oh, did it really? I thought it looked like Brotherhood.
Well, it looks like Brotherhood, but it's just like a less polished version of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, because I played Assassin's Creed Brotherhood first and then 2.
Yeah.
And then and playing 2, I was just like, wow, this looks like garbage. Even though a lot of people think Assassin's Creed 2 is better than Brotherhood, but
does 2 feel like a step down from Brotherhood, like gameplay wise?
I can't remember. Probably,
because I was thinking getting the collection not only for testing Brotherhood's speedrun viability, but also just to play 2 in general.
You'll enjoy 2. You can go to different like cities and stuff. It is cool. Is really cool. It's not just Rome the whole time and the side missions. It is like you can go to Venice and
nice.
And then Montergioni, obviously, and then a bunch of different other places. There's a bunch of different countries within Europe you can go to.
All right, yeah, I might get it mainly to play 2. So
yeah, 2's really good. I just like Brotherhood so much more. But I'm purely buying it for speedrun purposes.
Yeah, we got to test this stuff out. I'm sure Cynicism's probably going to get it too.
That'd be so fun. Like if if Assassin's Creed 2 had a nice layer of polish and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood had skippable cutscenes for Desmond and
man.
But maybe not and skippable cutscenes for the Rip Skip, because Rip Skip is still my baby.
Yeah, come on.
So maybe keep that. But yeah, we're definitely interested. Of all of this list, I think the most interested I am in, or like the thing that I'm most likely getting, is that this re-release of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
And then second is like triangle strategy. The thing about triangle strategy is there's like a choice as to what mission you can go towards. So maybe the demo has like a different mission you can do.
Oh, yeah, you probably had other missions you didn't do yet.
Well, like I did everything, and then there was just like a fork, and it's just like, oh, you can go this way or this way, and then it's just like, and then it ends. So maybe I'll retry the demo and do the other mission, and let's just skip all the story really fast.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Or maybe the route you choose affects the story.
Well, I hope so.
That'd be cool.
You know,
your choices really matter.
But the the battle mechanics were interesting to me, but like not enough to warrant like $80 and all that. But so yeah, okay. So the last thing,
the big grand finale.
You know it.
You love it. You know it. You've seen it.
Yeah.
So this is what I was most excited about. I've been calling it for years, every single time. So I called it. I said Xenoblade 3 is happening this direct. We're gonna see it.
Is it?
And what do you know? Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
It's funny that I was more sure about it's being Xenoblade 3 than you were earlier on in the trailer.
In my mind, I was like 80% sure it was Xenoblade, just because of like how just the environment looked, and obviously the European accents is a big giveaway right there.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the Naupons, I was like, oh, Xenoblade. Yeah.
But I was just like, oh, that. See, I guess I'm just like more lenient in my like, I'm pretty sure that's Xenoblade. Like I saw the giant.
I didn't want to get fucked again. Be like, oh, look, it's Pyra and Mithra. Oh, it's a Smash thing. Okay. I didn't want to get. My reaction was pretty subdued because it was mostly just me analyzing like, is this Xenoblade 3?
Yeah, you don't want to tease yourself into thinking. I didn't want to like
be the guy who pops off and it's like, we got Xenoblade amiibos.
Hey, no, but that's better for the react. Just like, oh my god, we got Xenoblade 3. Oh,
you know what?
I
should have went full read anyway. Fuck it.
Yeah, you should have jumped over your couch.
Yeah, so I became a huge Xenoblade fan ever since I played Definitive Edition when that came out. It was May 2020? Oh, no, 2019.
Okay.
Wait, I'm mixing up my years. Was it 2020? Whatever. I played that
recently.
Yeah, it was a few years ago. A couple years ago. And then later that year, I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2. For like a month straight, that's like all I did was just grind that game. I loved it. Even more than 1. I thought 1 was like a really good game, you know. Great characters, Dunban, Shulk, Fiora, Ryan especially. They're all good.
Oh, Dunban. I love Dunban.
Dunban. The voice acting is stellar. I love just the non-American accents is a nice change of pace. And then, yeah, you know, 1 I was a pretty big fan of. I didn't do much of the side content. I kind of just like got through it and was like, okay, that was a cool game. Mm-hmm. Xenoblade 2, though, I was even more into because the combat was so much more involved. Mm-hmm. Just the combat system was so much better in 2. It wasn't as like weirdly luck based with hoping that a chain attack will continue if your affinity's high enough or some bullshit. Let's see, what else is there? Yeah, so Xenoblade 2, I did pretty much all in. I got all the blades. I put like 300 hours into it. It was amazing. And I became a pretty big fan of the series ever since then. I was like, you know, 2 came out 2017. And 1 came out in like 2010 or 2011. Mm-hmm. That's a 6 to 7 year difference. Do we have to wait until 2024 to see Xenoblade 3? But no, it's coming out 2 years early on schedule. September of this year, which is, it's coming up. It'll get here sooner than we expect, probably.
Oh yeah.
And I gotta say, the trailer, I watched back through it again. The character designs, as Quan pointed out, a little more subdued in the breast department than 2. You know, they probably told the character designer like, okay, hold back a little bit, right? It was getting a little too crazy. And then The designs look great though. I'm definitely looking forward to using these characters, and the environments are just crazy big, expansive as always. That's like the trademark thing of the series.
Mm-hmm.
Just running through a big field with like crazy stuff in the background.
Yeah.
Enemy designs look great too. I also saw Enel, who's like the big like main Xenoblade or just Xeno series in general content creator that I know of. He posted a thing that I guess Nintendo also linked, showing like more detailed notes about the game from the creator himself. And he even mentioned like, I guess this game was planned, or stuff in this game was planned like years ago when 2 was in development. Like they were super playing the long game. Like there are things they even mentioned, if I can find there's like a sentence in this write-up here. Let's see, the key visual, blah, blah, blah. Where is it? A visual at the end of the trailer was something that we were planning like during the beginning of development of Xenoblade 2.
Okay.
Which is like, that's mind-blowing because that's like so... They were thinking so many years ahead that I'm sure this is going to be... Like a lot of passion is going to be put into it. And it's going to be just awesome. I guess it's going to try to like mainly combine aspects of 1 and 2 together. Because canonically, I think 1 and 2 happen at the exact same time. Okay. In like separate but like sort of intertwined universes in a way.
Okay.
But 3 is going to be like the future beyond those 2 games.
Ooh, the actual sequel.
The real sequel.
Nice.
And it's going to be... And there were like some characters that I recognized, like there was Nia, like definitely by far the most clear. And probably like some relative of Nia because it was like the same cat appearance with like the same ringed weapons that Nia had. Mm-hmm. So interested in what that would be. And then also like Melia was in there, except in the future. So she, I don't know. I don't really know what's going on. They just sort of show some stuff and it's like, whoa, it's happening. And I'm definitely 100% looking forward to it. So
I'm trying to think. You're saying the visual at the end they were planning from the beginning of development of Xenoblade 2.
Yeah, just the screenshot or like the 2 people staring out in the distance of like the Mechonis sword going into, I think it was the Uriah Titan from Xenoblade 2. Like those 2 things combined somehow.
See, I was trying to think of it, just like, what was the end of the Xenoblade 3 trailer? Because all we were doing was sitting there watching Xenoblade and hoping that a 3 showed up. Yeah,
the scene when the Xenoblade title comes up and then the 3.
It's like Xenoblade, and we were just like, everybody's just like, X2? Is it X2? And then it's just like, is it 3? Could it be 3? And I'm just sitting there going like, I'm waiting for this 3 to appear, and then your stream was slightly ahead of me, so it was just like, I heard you go woo, and then my 3 started to show up. I'm like, oh, okay, it's 3.
I can see into the future, just like Shulk. But it was crazy. Just I guess it's kind of sad. I guess there were fans of Xenoblade X, which was like a Wii U release. Yep. It came out in between 1 and 2. I never played it personally. I never owned a Wii U. But apparently it didn't have quite as good of a story, but had like really, really good gameplay. Mm-hmm. Don't know if I'll get to it. Maybe someday I will. But Xenoblade 3, what else is there? Did I mention all I want to mention on this? I don't know. Just the write-up that NL linked as well.
You had Xenoblade 3 notes?
No, I didn't really have any notes.
Okay.
There's not much to go off of. It's just like a little trailer thing.
Well, you're excited.
But I got like goosebumps reading this write-up that like Nintendo posted from the creator. Like, yeah, we got like the same composers coming back, the same designers coming back, like everyone, the whole gang's here. And I mean, just the main thing is that them planning this game so many years in advance, essentially. That's a good sign of like, okay, this isn't just like a shoehorn thing to get money. Like they really know what they're doing. So
yeah. Well, I'm excited for all the Xenoblade fans to get.
This is the year Xenoblade fans be winning. So
you mentioned release dates. We didn't really talk about release dates.
Everything comes out in June.
Everything comes out in June. Everything comes out alongside the Cuphead DLC. But the Assassin's Creed thing comes out next week, which is really hype. And you're probably
is it that soon? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because you're gonna get it for the glitch. For glitch.
Yeah, I was gonna like, dude, in the plane going to glitch, it's either gonna be that or XCOM 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's too many games. I don't know.
The surgeons. So it's like that is February, and then I think a couple things are in March. I can't remember specifically the dates, but I know that September is Xenoblade 3, and then Triangle Strategy is early March.
Okay.
Or like mid-March. And so that's kind of interesting to me. So overall, that's pretty much everything from the Direct.
So Sid's disappointed there was no Zelda update.
Well, okay. See, it's not even that I'm disappointed. I'm kind of surprised.
They're probably saving it for the summer.
Yeah, they're probably saving it for the summer for a holiday or early next year release, because I know, like, Breath of the Wild was a March release in 2017, or an early at least.
It was a Switch launch title.
Yeah, and like, so Nintendo can kind of make their own time. Like, they don't have to go like, oh, it's holiday season, we're gonna put it out here so that people buy it. It's Zelda. It's gonna be Breath of the Wild too.
It's not the timetable Ubisoft, Activision, the same game every year type of deal.
They don't have
Nintendo puts years into their shit, so
they don't have to align themselves with the holiday timeline or anything like that. So they can do whatever they want.
Fucking Mario. You're gonna buy it anyway. Fuck you.
So it still could be holiday season. It could be early next year or whatever. I'm just surprised that I didn't see it. I don't think that it would, like, seeing Breath of the Wild 2 would really change my entire perception of the Direct.
I am mainly interested to see if they vastly, or at least somewhat, change the art style from Breath of the Wild 1.
Yeah.
Because there's never, well, now, actually, thinking about it more, they probably won't, because Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask look the same. So it's probably going to be like one of those type of deals.
But it is still 6 years.
Yeah.
Like 5 or 6 years.
Whereas those two games came out like a year apart.
Yeah, just like, okay, Ocarina of Time, huge. Let's put out another one. Oh, let's put out a Majora's Mask. Oh, it's great. Let's talk shit.
Like, we rushed through it for like a year. We made it like in 2 seconds. Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, we hate it.
Yeah, we hate it. We're really disappointed with our product. It's like, come on.
I mean, I can see why. Like they were like on a time crunch. They had to just like, oh, here's an asset from Ocarina of Time, put it in there. Oh, here's an asset from Ocarina of Time, put it in there. But they made an amazing story somehow. So
yeah, I think with the Direct, I think what I would have wanted is like. I know you're super excited for Xenoblade 3.
Yeah, I genuinely, I could not care less. There was no Zelda. If it was just Xenoblade 3, I'm perfectly happy. So.
Like, I don't know what they could have. I think I'm just curmudgeonly lately. Like, maybe if I don't know. I think if I'm more excited, like, mechanic wise. Like, if they say, oh, Odyssey 2, I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, a new Odyssey. Like, I didn't like I liked playing through Odyssey. I don't think I'd be like, so like, I'd probably get it, but I wouldn't be.
Odyssey, it's one of those games you kind of just, unless you speedrun it, you just kind of play through it once. You're like, that was fun.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that was cool.
And then Breath of the Wild, I think, is kind of the same thing for me, where it's just like, unless you speedrun it, it's just kind of like, oh, I played through it once. I'm looking for Korok seeds.
Well, then again, there is the argument: do single player games really have to be like that expectation of like replayability, or if it's just like one really really good gameplay playthrough, but never having the need to play it again, like that's arguably good too. I mean,
yeah, I don't think so.
If you enjoyed your one go through, it's like, yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, but the thing with Odyssey and Breath of the Wild is that I think they're both okay to like fine. So like, I know people love Odyssey and then hate Breath of the Wild. I know people love Breath of the Wild and hate Odyssey, and I'm just kind of in the middle. I think Odyssey is slightly worse than Breath of the Wild, but they're all just like okay, because like old Nintendo, I'm like, gameplay is king. And if they showed a trailer for Odyssey 2 without like showing me that the gameplay is different, I'd be like, yeah, okay, a new Odyssey. I appreciate that people will be excited for it. I'll probably end up playing it. But
I think Breath of the Wild was like really, really fun when it was brand new and it was such a mysterious world.
Yeah.
But now looking at it through the lens of like, oh, we kind of uncovered everything. You can look at it like with a more critical eye and be like, maybe it's not as good as we initially thought, but it's still a good game.
Yeah, so. And I just hope they do the tweaks that we've talked about on the podcast many times. And
all I know is it's going to have floating islands. So
it's definitely going to have a floating castle at least.
They took inspiration from Minecraft.
Or oh yeah,
because
sure.
they're going to randomly just be like floating land masses there. If you're lucky with your seed.
That thing in the sky. What's crazy?
I got to build a house there.
I got to build a tower below it.
But first you got to build a bridge to it, right?
Yeah, you got to build a bridge.
We love our bridges in Minecraft. So
we do. We together love our bridges.
Especially you. Sorry. I mean,
no, we do. No, I
you know what? 60-40, you, me on bridge loving. All right,
I'll share the bridge love. Why can't I share the bridge love?
I'm down.
But yeah, so that's the take. So out of 10, what would you say the direct?
10 out of 10, easy.
10 out of 10, easy. Damn. Yeah, I think it's like a 6. But I think I'm just curmudgeonly. I don't know.
I think whatever the previous direct was like a 3 or a 2. I think it was like so lame.
Yeah.
I don't remember like a single thing from it. I just remember there was like not a single cool thing about it.
Like literally, we live reacted to it. We talked about it on the podcast. We don't remember what the fuck any of it was.
I just remember like there was nothing interesting.
So it's like you're sitting at home, you're sitting there going like, oh yeah, I don't remember anything from the last direct. Yeah, we had to like write notes and talk about it. So
no, I think the best part of the last direct was we are working on Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, everybody was like,
was
it. Yeah, let's go.
And that was it.
But I think if they mentioned Metroid Prime or F-Zero. Like when you were talking F-Zero, I'm like, man, F-Zero would be so sick.
Dude, if they mentioned Prime 4, I would have given it 11 out of 10.
Oh my god, man.
Easy.
Like F-Zero, if they did another F-Zero.
Oh, and an F-Zero, 12 out of 10.
Online F-Zero?
Woo.
What a world.
At like GX speeds, that'd be nuts.
At GX speeds.
You're going like 5,000 kilometers per hour sometimes. It's nuts.
Yeah, especially if you're Speed Stalker. What's his name? He's like, he wears the dinosaur outfit.
Are we talking like a character from the game?
F-Zero GX, yeah.
Dude, I don't know the characters too. I just know like fucking Dr. Stewart or whatever.
Speed, man, I can't remember.
I know there's Blood Falcon, there's the black one.
Black Bull.
Black Bull, yeah.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of different characters.
There's the guy who looks like Fox McCloud a little bit.
Yep.
I forget his name.
I don't remember his name either.
I know he looks
like many characters. There's so many.
Yeah, there's like 60 or something.
It's just like it's pointless how many characters.
Oh, there's a fat shark.
I just use the one car and then that's it. And then some people customize their cars.
Fat shark's really good for speedrunning apparently.
Ooh, Fat Shark. Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe I should use Fat Shark. But yeah, so that's the direct.
Woo.
It's over. We've talked about it.
So who wants to talk about a game they've been playing recently first, you or me?
What would you talk about?
Bowser's Inside Story.
Go for it.
It's either that or you talk about Hollow Knight.
Or we talk about Hollow Knight. I talk about Relicta.
Oh yeah.
And we can talk about Biango 8.
Oh yeah.
That's the topic.
All right, so Bowser's Inside Story.
Go for it.
I have a DS from 2005, the original one. It still works.
It still works.
I brought it when we were cleaning out like my parents' home of random stuff they don't need. Took all my GameCube games. My brother got all the Xbox games. He was more of an Xbox guy. And then I got the DS and some DS games. And I never owned Bowser's Inside Story. I only had Partners in Time, which I thought was not nearly as good as Superstar Saga, the first Mario and Luigi RPG game. Mm-hmm. And I always heard that Bowser's Inside Story, which was like the second DS release in that series, was arguably the best in the series, or like on par with Superstar Saga. So I was like, I love this series. I'm going to try it out. So I bought a copy, like a cartridge on eBay for like $10.
Damn.
And
hardcore.
I'm playing it now. I've had it for a few months, but I'm finally playing it. Mm-hmm. And the biggest hindrance to me is that this is a game that heavily utilizes touchscreen gimmicks, which is cool. I love touchscreen stuff. Even in an era with smartphones and stuff, it still feels pretty fun to like mess around with. Mm-hmm. With the stylus and everything. Remember a stylus?
Yeah, I do remember the stylus. Did you ever purchase those like giant styli that like don't fit into the slot? Why
would you buy one that doesn't fit in there?
I remember my parents bought me like the giant ones for some reason.
The small one's all you need.
Yeah, I don't know. I just had them. It's just bigger. It just holds better in your hand. I don't know.
Size doesn't matter. As long as it fits in that little slot, I'm good. Anyway, Yeah, so it Partners in Time didn't use the touchscreen at all, I don't think.
Oh, yeah?
It literally just utilized like the double screen thing for like fights and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But this game, it actually uses the touchscreen pretty often, which is cool, but the calibration of my touchscreen is totally fucked up.
Oh, yeah?
Well, it's not totally fucked up. It's just like on the right side of the screen where I touch is like 2 millimeters off where it should be in one direction.
Ooh.
Then the left side of the screen, it's like the other direction. Basically, ooh. I had to like sort of memorize like over time with muscle memory. If I'm touching this side of the screen, I got to be this far off of it in this direction.
Mm-hmm.
Which
so
is added. It's like an added bit of challenge in a way.
It's like the touch screen is like stretched over the game itself. Like
it's like larger than it should be essentially.
Yeah,
because in the very middle, it's pretty dead on. But when I'm like touching something on the right side of the screen, I got to be like 2 millimeters off in one direction, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which I've surprisingly gotten used to pretty well, but it is pretty annoying for like any precision stuff. Because like I recently did. For like this old Koopa guy, you solve this puzzle, like putting in puzzle pieces. Okay. And I'm like, I can't touch the piece. It's right there. I can't touch it. I got to be like to the side of it. It's kind of annoying, but it hasn't really hindered my playthrough too much. I appreciate, honestly, overall this game so far, it's been a good wholesome time. Like it's just good wholesome fun. Classic Mario and Luigi battle mechanics where you can dodge the attacks. Once you're skilled enough, you learn the enemy's pattern. Like you learn, like every enemy has a tell if they're going to go for Mario or Luigi first.
Mm-hmm.
You learn that pattern. You master it over time, and then also in this game you can play as Bowser as well. Which honestly, I never thought moving around as Bowser, which you would think is just like a clunky mess, like walking around as like a big dude.
I played the end of Odyssey.
It's actually quite fun. Oh. Especially when you get the boosted punch mechanic, because originally, so Bowser can by default punch or breathe fire, mm-hmm. and the fire can like blow down trees. You can like go somewhere else once you burn the trees down, or you can like punch through bricks. Okay. But eventually, you get an upgraded punch where you can like boost punch, so you like boost forward quite a bit.
Okay,
and I think. If you were to run this game, you would just boost punch everywhere as Bowser.
Ooh.
And it's so sick because you can actually, like, if you go diagonally, like, if you boost punch diagonally into a wall, you don't crash into the wall, you, like, slide against it.
Oh.
So you can go around corners all smooth, like. And I don't know, moving around as Bowser, I enjoy way too much for some reason. But yeah, there's, like, it sort of goes back and forth. There's a segment where you play as Bowser, and then a segment where you're Mario and Luigi, and you're actually inside of Bowser, like the name of the game. Oh my god!
I did know the gimmick.
Basically, the story is that Fawful, who was like the henchman sidekick to Cackletta, the main enemy in Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Damn these names.
Fawful is the main bad guy in this game, at least so far. I don't know. Maybe there's a new bad guy later. Maybe Ganondorf shows up like in Twilight Princess. But yeah, Fawful tricks Bowser into getting this special mushroom that makes him just like suck everything up with his mouth. Like he eats the mushroom and he goes to Peach's castle and just like sucks up everyone into his mouth.
Perfect.
It's like, cool, that's a game story, yeah, I guess.
That's the start.
And I guess it was part of Fawful's evil plan to take over the Mushroom Kingdom and take over Princess Peach's castle.
No!
And
what?
he turns Bowser's minions against Bowser, and he makes them bow down to him instead.
Okay.
And like when you're Bowser, you show up to Princess Peach's castle, and the Goombas are like talking about Fawful and stuff, and Bowser's like, "Yo, dude, it's me. Come on, what the fuck?" It's like, no, we don't know who you are. So it's kind of funny. There are like some funny slapstick moments too in the game, just typical, and like of course the comedic Charles Martinet, overly Italian sounding.
Oh yeah.
Whenever Mario and Luigi talk, it's like a potato. It's so funny, dude.
Yeah.
And there are definitely like some funny lines. The thing about like you're not much of an RPG Mario person per se. But the thing about Mario RPG Bowser is that he's always like the comedic relief in a way.
Okay.
And because you're playing as Bowser and do Bowser stuff so much, you get a lot of that comedy with your gameplay. And there's just funny moments. Like there's a moment where you have to find a bonsai bill to like launch it at Bowser's castle to like defeat the bad guy in the castle. It's kind of a weird plan because like you would think we're going to blow the castle up, but I guess it doesn't. Anyway, you got to find a bonsai bill as Bowser, and you pull this big thing out of the ground, and it's just this like ginormous mega, I think they call it a giga carrot. The giga chad carrot, I guess.
Sure.
and then a Wiggler shows up. It's like, hey, that's our giga carrot. We've been growing it for many generations of Wiggler in our family. As a punishment, you got to eat the whole thing in 1 minute.
What?
And then Bowser's like, no carrot will defeat me. It's just funny lines like that. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then there's like a little mini game where you're eating the carrot, but like essentially you are controlling, like you're powering up Bowser by stimulating muscles or like breaking up stuff in his stomach as Mario and Luigi.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's a carrot eating mini game where like the carrot chunks go into a thing and you're tapping on them to like break them up.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly fun. It'd be more fun if my calibration was on point, but you get used to it again.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
What else is there? Yeah, the battle mechanics are cool. Battling as Bowser versus Mario. Like Mario and Luigi utilize like the A button for Mario, B button for Luigi, then the X button for Bowser. So in battle, Bowser has like a punch with X or like a shell defense move with Y. And it mixes up the I guess my main gripe with Superstar Saga is that the battling gets kind of samey after a while because there's only so much you can do with just two characters.
Uh-huh.
But switching between Bowser and Mario sort of keeps it keeps the combat more fresh as like you swap between these two ways of fighting in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, but one thing I do prefer in Superstar Saga is the special like bro moves that utilize, I guess like it's to put it into terms anyone understands, like a mana pool of like a magic meter essentially of how many like special attacks you can use.
Yeah.
And I prefer the Superstar Saga bro attacks versus the bro items in Partners in Time in this game.
Okay.
Because the bro attacks, it's like some combination of like A, B, and A or B, B, A. And then Mario and Luigi like come together and do some crazy big attack. The bro items, while they're kind of cool, I don't know, they don't have as much charm to them. It's like, oh, a Koopa shell, hit A and then B and then A and then B to like hit it back and forth. It's there. It's just not quite as cool as the bro attacks in my opinion. But yeah, combat, honestly, pretty good. The exploration is mostly linear at first, then the world kind of opens up after a while. And you sort of, you're just switching between going inside Bowser, moving around as Bowser. Eventually, you can, weirdly, like, you can go into a pipe inside Bowser to go into the overworld Bowser's in as Mario and Luigi, which I don't know how that even works. Like, for some reason, Bowser is normal sized, but you're inside Bowser. It's like this enormous thing. Like it's like the most egregious example of like that thing where like you go into a house in a video game. It's like this huge thing.
It's the Doctor Who the phone booth, the TARDIS.
Essentially, yeah. I think I know what you mean by that.
Yeah.
You go into a tiny thing and it's this huge thing somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can take a pipe to exit and re-enter Bowser just because why not? Mm-hmm. And what else is there? Well,
to be fair, doesn't food just take a pipe to exit?
Well, yeah, I guess you're totally right.
if you think about it,
but it's like a literal pipe. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
And then there's also like other gimmicks. There's actually they do some funny things with known stuff like the human body can do. Like adrenaline and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's sections where literally Bowser's castle drops on top of Bowser. So it's like, oh damn, I guess he died. That sucks.
Damn.
But then as Mario and Luigi, you like stimulate this. You go to like the emergency, what's called rump command.
The rump command, yeah.
It's located like in the butt area. They call it rump command.
No, the rump command is in the butt area?
It's crazy.
That is nuts.
And there's these two like hemoglobin like emergency dudes like, all right, this is the emergency station. We got to like do this shit and activate Bowser's adrenaline shit.
Sure.
And then it causes Bowser to become like super Omega sized, which I guess is cool because it's not only a mechanic that explains his bodily functions, but it also explains how Bowser gets so big in some of the other games.
Galaxy.
Like like the enormous Bowser in like New Super Mario Bros.
Yeah.
I guess he activated his rump command and then got super big.
He activated his rump command.
Yep. And then you go into these like Godzilla giant Bowser things where it's totally touchscreen. You actually tilt the DS horizontally, like side by side screens.
Yeah.
Bowser on one side, giant entity on the other. Mm-hmm. And you're doing cool things. Like the guy like will send things at you. You swipe into them to break them. And like you have a punch move. Very reminiscent of the Flash game Spank the Monkey. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. There's a Spank the Monkey Flash game where you literally just swipe your mouse across the screen and it measures how fast you did it.
Okay.
But except in this game, it's like how fast you swipe across the touchscreen with a stylus. And based on how fast you swipe it determines how powerful your punch is.
Ooh.
And you can punch the giant enemy away. You can, I don't know, there's like different touch gimmicks in this fight, but it's still really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the game has no shortage of just like mixing things up. There's, I guess, like a arena mode where you can like fight harder versions of previous bosses you battled.
Mm-hmm.
And overall,
a boss rush, if you will.
Yeah, sort of a boss rush, except you can like do one at a time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just my characters are like roughly level 20 to 25 right now. I'd say I'm like maybe I can never tell how far I am into RPGs until like the very end.
Yeah.
It always like either is shorter than you expect or longer than you expect.
I remember you talking about Tales and you're just like, yeah, I feel like I'm close to the end. It's like, oh, no.
I was not even remotely close at all.
Oh, no.
So I would estimate that I'm maybe nearly halfway done, but I have no idea. So
yeah. Okay.
That is Bowser's Inside Story. It's really fun so far. That's about it.
I've taken a cue from you lately with casual games. So usually lately with our guestless pod, it's like you've been talking about all of the games that you've been playing, and I've just kind of been like, oh yeah, I improved any percent Sunshine, and I've improved Vanquish, I guess. Every speedrun I've been doing. So the past week I haven't really been doing, like I've been doing some speedruns and stuff. I actually started a True All Hundo run that was like really good until it wasn't, which then I gave it up. But like other than that, I have been playing casual games, which is interesting or novel for me because we were talking about going through Hollow Knight or me beating Hollow Knight by the time we record this. I didn't quite do that because I did the triangle strategy, and I count that. That's like 5 hours of a casual game.
Oh yeah, totally.
And I streamed that and stuff.
How many of the Dreamers do you have in Hollow Knight?
The Dreamers.
Or are you even that far?
The Dreamers?
Okay, you're not even that far. Never mind.
Well, I have the Dream Nail.
Okay, yeah.
And I got a couple of the trees.
There's like three main MacGuffins to unlock the final battle. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so no, I have none of them. I just unlocked the ability to get the final battle.
I should just stop talking about this game because I'm going to spoil stuff.
Yeah. So I'm not nearly as far as Trey is in Hollow Knight. So I did play it a fair bit. I'm starting to enjoy it a lot, which is good. But the game that's probably being played, we're probably using the Relicta gameplay, right? In the background here.
We can use that or triangle strategy or whatever you want. I don't know.
I'll rather do the Relicta. Triangle strategy is so fucking boring. It's just like, do you want to watch literally cutscenes of people who have their text box show up?
I'm gonna put Relicta in there and avoid watching the gameplay as much as possible so I don't spoil myself.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's the very start. It's the very start. What I have recorded is like the first two. Or like, I guess it's after the first segment, so it's like the second area of puzzles. But like talking about Portal earlier, Relicta is like a box-based puzzle game with like different you can use fuck with polarities, like have the boxes magnetized to one another and force away from one another, and there's an anti-grav mechanic with that and stuff. And it's very cool, like the way that it's in the 3D environment, it feels very manipulatable, I guess. And like it is very very well put together, but it also kind of feels like you're kind of discovering it on your own, or like fucking around with the mechanics in ways the developers might not have intended you to. Because I've definitely put a box over a wall that I didn't intend to, and I think it's probably during this gameplay at some point where there's this whole room dedicated to there's this block on the floor. All you're doing essentially in this game is these random text or box test rooms.
So it's mostly moving boxes around and stuff?
Yeah, it is mostly moving boxes around and stuff. And but like in different areas, and the areas look cool. But like the base of it is you're on a space station where you're testing different scientific discoveries in the future, and you play as Angelica Patel, just a character randomly. I do enjoy the story in this game. It's very interesting. The start of it.
Oh, it actually has a story, unlike the windows.
It does have a story, which is really cool.
Cool.
But I feel like they interweave the test areas very well. Like you start with the tutorial puzzles as well, like obviously, and you go through these like test chambers with the blocks and just kind of learning it all. And apparently it's part of her like daily routine to go through and test certain areas and see if everything's working correctly, and then you go back. It's kind of Portal-esque, kind of. Now
so
that
there's like a GLaDOS figure.
No, I guess there is like a sys, like system, and basically like computer in Star Trek, and you talk to him, and but you have control of them, and they're just like the system at large, and you're just this researcher and scientist going through all of these different things. And the story develops, and like not everything is as hunky-dory as it seems up on the space station. There are other people there, but so far I haven't run into another person. I don't think that they really had the developer really had the budget for having other people in it. But I've also said to you that it still feels lived in, even though you don't see anybody else. Like
that's a hard feeling to capture,
right?
So that's impressive.
Like I feel like they've done really well. I know that I won't see anybody, or I probably won't, but if I do, oh my god. I haven't quite beaten this game. But I
just gotta ask, does it feel like the space station is inhabited by Among Us characters?
No. It doesn't. You see your hands. You
don't see any like task around you can do?
You just see this garbage chute, you see the gas can, and you're just like,
oh, no, yeah. There's Medbay. He must not be sus.
But they do interweave the puzzles really well. It seems like an inconvenience to her, where she's just like, oh, you have to go through these puzzles. The Sis is on the fritz at the start of the game, and you have to go through the puzzles instead of shutting them all down. It's like, oh, Sis, shut them all down. And he's just like, well, I think the reasoning at the start for all the puzzles to be left on, even in a crisis where Angelica has to go like save her compatriots from like they're like stuck in either the like what's it in Hollow Knight, the big car, the
stag station.
Not the stag station, the like sky rail, the just like the ski,
the monorail thing.
Yeah, the monorail thing. Yeah. Like they're stuck in a maglev in this game, or they're stuck in like an area where they can't get out, and they're like climbing their way back because everything's shut down and things seem to have been sabotaged. And Angelica goes into this new area of puzzles, and she's just like, "Hey, Sis, just turn them off." And Sis replies with like, "Oh, I could, but like if I do, then I have to send this. I have to tell people that I did for this reason, and there is some like political underlying things about the space station that apparently Angelica doesn't want to get out. So the like sending a message about having to shut off the the puzzles due to like supposed sabotage is like a really big no-no in the world. So like the fact that they're like developing the story that way, where it's just like, oh, we have to keep the puzzles on, and you have to do the puzzles on, and it feels like a well done way of actually doing it, instead of being like, oh, do these puzzles, oh, there's story, oh, do these puzzles, oh, do the story. Like it feels like they're interweaving it pretty well. And
it's one thing to make satisfying puzzles, it's another thing to like actually make it make sense with a story.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
And like the mechanics are really cool. The floatless ability to the blocks is really interesting. It feels like what you described with Steven Sausage Roll, where I just kind of like the thing about Steven Sausage Roll to me is that I couldn't really trial and error stuff. With this game, you can trial and error all the fuck you want. And
what do you mean with Steven Sausage? You can undo moves all you want.
Well, you can undo moves, but like if you burn them, they're burnt. Where it's like, when you burn them, they're burnt. But like
there's no like fail condition you like redo. Okay.
Yeah, you never like, like there are some spots where I've had to reset the mission, but it's very rare. And like it's like a block is stuck somewhere and you're just like, oh, like, well, I literally can't grab that.
If you can like only push a block and it gets into a corner, it's like, well, I gotta retry.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But like you can also grab the blocks and you can use magnets to move them and stuff. So it's very rare that you get anything like super stuck. And the environments are really cool looking, and the development of the story is really interesting. There's this thing called the Relicta, which isn't really spoilers because it's literally the first scene. The interesting thing about this game, it is, there's this thing called the Relicta that is the secret that is being held by this space station. I would recommend this game. It's like really cheap on Epic Games. If you like puzzle games, I would recommend. But it's funny because it starts with like a flashback where it's just like you start at the Relicta and something that happens, I guess, an hour into gameplay or 2 hours into gameplay happens at the start. So it's like this happens and then the game starts and you're just like, what the fuck just happened? Okay, I guess I'm doing my regular day of stuff, and you learn more, and then you interact with the Relicta, and then the game and like the same scene happens. I'm like, oh, okay. Interesting. So cool. But yeah, and the visuals are really cool. There's a photo mode. I've really started to appreciate photo mode. I might be starting to use some of the photos from this game as like background.
Oh, you mean like taking screenshots or what?
Yeah, taking screenshots. Like there's a photo mode you can like go in and like move your camera to some extent. Like it's not too much to like break the game, so you can like explore the environment and like see like where all the switches are.
Oh, so it's like the Super Smash Brothers photo thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And and it just feels interesting to play. It feels flexible. Like being a speedrunner, having flexibility and mechanic is very good. Like making it so that you're not just like, oh, you can only do this, and this, which is funny because we like The Witness so much.
Yeah, it's just walking and doing line puzzles.
Yeah, it's just walking and doing line puzzles. But this one is just, it feels very, you can take advantage of the mechanic. Like some puzzles I've beaten where I'm like, I feel like I definitely didn't do that right. Like that, but I beat the puzzle. And
that's always an unfortunate feeling. Steven Sausage Roll is a game where I felt the most smart from solving stuff ever.
Yeah.
But some games, they don't quite that mark where it's like, I did this, but was that the intended way? Am I like, do I understand this really?
Yeah, I've had that with this game for sure. Like there's like what I was talking about. There's a room that's dedicated to like basically extruding both blocks from that room because there's specific barriers, like purple barriers you can walk through but blocks can't go through, and green barriers blocks can go through and you can't go through, and it's just puzzle after puzzle like that. And there's this room with a purple barrier around it that you're trying to extrude 2 blocks from, instead of like you bring in the one block and you have to get the other and the first one back out. And I was just like, what the fuck do I do? And I fucked around with it, and it's probably in the gameplay on this podcast. And I just luckily threw one of the blocks over the wall by accident, by like somehow having the polarity on one block be one thing and then the polarity of the other be the other. It just forced it over the wall in like a specific angle that it just worked. And I was like, oh, perfect. And then I just kept going.
You think you can sort of like Breath of the Wild physics your way through stuff?
Yeah.
Like a shrine kind of?
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
There are like corridors where you have to like set the polarity of like wall mounts, where it's just like it's basically red and blue, so negative and positive. So if you set the wall mount to red and the block to blue, then it'll suck to one another. But if they're both red, they'll force away from one another.
It's like a magnet.
And then exactly, and you can set the block to float or like have no gravity to it, so it just kind of has whatever speed it will be set at for whatever. Like it'll just keep going, floating in the air, which is really cool. And then there's just like long tunnels that they've set up where you have to set all the polarities to each wall mount to like keep it either away or suck it towards or whatever, and have it make its way to the end of the puzzle there and put it on like a switch and then go to the next puzzle. So it's really interesting. And I'm enjoying my way through it. The only critique I have for it so far, I haven't quite beaten it, is that in the middle, I feel like the story really slows down or like kind of doesn't make as much sense, but I haven't beaten it yet, so I can't really critique it too hard.
I'm sure they'll explain it in the end game.
But this is the most I've enjoyed a puzzle game since Witness.
Cool.
And yeah, like at first I was just like, oh, it's a free Epic Games Store game, whatever. Like that's usually how it goes. And
that's how I was with The Witness. I was like, yeah, it's free. I'll get it.
Yeah, and I literally downloaded it because I looked at the trailer for it. I'm like, oh, it's a first-person puzzle game. I'll give it a shot. So I downloaded it and then just started playing it like few days later, and I was just like, oh, this is actually like really well made, and like it looks really good. Like where's the shortcuts going to come in? Like where did the developers take shortcuts? Because it's like what is it? Something Crow developer. I can't remember what the developer is called, but
I have no idea.
They like I was wondering where their shortcuts came in, and it's probably just animations of 3D models because like they not 3D models, like people. I'm just trying to figure out what the
I think I've heard you say this game.
Mighty Polygon.
I've heard you say this game looks really good, like 8 times probably. So
yeah.
I believe you.
It looks really good, and yeah, I'm picking my way through that. And the gameplay you're going to be seeing is the like area 2. So I didn't quite understand what was going on, but it does feel really good to just have all the mechanics work. It's like Super Mario Odyssey in a way, in like the best way, where you know how you're throwing the hat and you just like, oh man, I feel so good because I do the throw.
I'm a pro. Like, I jumped on the hat, then I threw it again, then I jumped again.
And then you dove again, and you're just like, wow, I'm so sick. When you're setting up like a block to get put into these like sequence of polarity shifts or whatever, like in the Hall of Magnets or whatever, it feels good to be like grab, place, make negative, put the float mechanic on, see it go up, see it like, and just it you feel really good at the game, even though it's just a puzzle game that's first person and stuff. But yeah, that's my my Relicta playthrough so far.
My only comment is that every time you said Angelica, I just thought of the Rugrats Angelica.
That's her name, Angelica Patel.
So yeah,
and she has a daughter, and you're worried about her. And you're worried about her daughter and her coworkers and her. And Sis isn't like against you, but he's not on your side. Like I guess he's on your side, but it feels like he's just being controlled. I don't know. There's a lot of cool relationships in that.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to try it sometime.
But yeah, other than that, it's Hollow Knight.
It's Hollow Knight,
and I'm only like 10 hours in, and I'm enjoying playing the game now that I'm not perma-lost.
Yeah, there were a couple of moments I got lost in my playthrough. I had to like explore everywhere I've been to like find the one thing I can now go through that I missed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, go ahead.
Well, like I haven't run into another boss since the 3. Are they grasshoppers or like
the praying mantis? I think.
Yeah. I haven't run into a legit boss since then. I don't think. But I've been exploring new areas, and there's this whole area with the tower you have to climb with the window on the right, right? And you don't have a map the entire time. And that's probably the most I've enjoyed playing the game. That area, just kind of like trying to remember where I've been and go up and eventually get to the map guy, which was cool. And then I have that whole area unlocked now.
It actually is fun. So eventually you get one of the charms is a compass where like it shows you exactly where you are on the map.
Yeah. I use that all the time.
Which it's super useful. But honestly, there's kind of like in the early game, there's some fun to not having that and like sort of figuring out like based on the map, like, oh, I think I'm right here. I don't know. There is like some navigation fun to be had there.
Yeah, for sure.
But the compass is like a godsend.
I've not since I figured out how you said badges.
Yeah, they're charms.
They're charms.
Yeah.
Figuring out how the charms work or whatever. I've just put on the map one and just kind of then used all of my other ones in certain orders.
And the money coming to you one, huh?
Ooh, I got the money coming to you one.
Yep. That one's super useful in early game when you like need the money.
I like that. But yeah, so that's I guess that's also Hollow Knight because like I haven't gone deep enough to like really have a good discussion of it.
Yeah.
And
there's two things I want to say. One is that there's a certain thing that happened to me in my playthrough that I really hope happens to you because it was one of probably the top 3 most heart-wrenching or like heartbreaking moments to me in a video game ever.
Okay.
Or like most like I got totally owned moments in a video game.
Okay.
And if it happens to you, dude, you'll know it when you get to it. I'm not going to spoil it though.
Okay.
It is crazy.
I believe it.
But it's also possible it may never happen to you. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll talk about it whenever we end up doing that.
And then the second thing is that, so yeah, I completed a playthrough, like beat the final boss or whatever.
Yep.
And I was working towards 100%. I got like 97%. And then, honestly, dude, I got so burnt out by that one, Zot, what the fuck's his name? Zote the Mighty.
Oh, Zote the Mighty.
Like that special boss in the end game, you gotta beat 10 times in a row, and it gets progressively harder each time. After spending a whole day doing that, I finally got the pointless gold trophy for doing it. There's no achievement either.
Yay!
And I felt so like, oh, that was a waste of time.
Why don't they give trophies for that stuff? Or like, not trophies, achievements.
You would think there's an achievement. I guess it's like an optional thing or something.
Like, why don't I get achievement for God Hard Vanquish? Why please?
Oh, you don't? That's maybe because they didn't think anyone could beat it.
I'm just like sitting there going like, come on, bro.
But yeah, like, yeah, I need my dopamine hit. Like, give me like that reward. Come on.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter to me.
I don't intrinsically want to play this. I want the reward though.
It doesn't matter nearly as much as like Xbox Live achievements back in the day or PlayStation trophies, but like, give me my Steam achievement, bro.
But then, yeah, actually, so I did get all of the grubs because actually, I when I was like 5 away from getting all of them, I started to cheat to get them all. But actually, right after I started cheating, I like as in using a guide, I found a thing which actually maps out where they all are.
Ooh.
So I only had to cheat for like 2 of them, and the last 3 I just like found on the map. So,
ooh.
But then yeah, I had like 97%. And then I was like, I don't even know, like, what the fuck other 3% am I missing? I don't even... And, like, the collectibles, like, the journal things, I have no fucking idea what they're even for.
Yeah.
Like what are those? Like, the 4 slots of things you can just get. It's like, what do these do? I don't even know.
Yeah.
And I just kind of didn't feel like using a guide to get the remaining 3% or even, like, play the DLC. I was just like, I think, it's 2D. I get the idea. I'm slashing a nail at things, whatever. I think I'm good on this game. I'm done with it. I think I just prefer Dark Souls from like the more complex 3D, more cinematic feel of it. Mm-hmm. But don't get me wrong, Hollow Knight, fantastic game.
Yeah, you 97%ed it. Yeah,
97. It's 97% worth playing. I don't know what I'm saying.
I recommend it to 97% of people.
Yeah, 3% of you might not enjoy it. 97% though.
Yeah.
Whew.
One thing I was thinking about it the other day. So after what I was playing the other day, whatever, in Hollow Knight, I was thinking to myself, does it pass the speedrun test?
What is that?
The speedrun like I've never thought about it before, but I was just like, could I, like Super Mario Sunshine, see myself just kind of sitting at my setup and playing that game every day all the time?
See, the thing is, if I was going to commit to the all achievements,
yeah,
they make you speedrun it.
All achievements?
Because did you look through the achievements list, Chad?
I looked through it to the extent of I wanted to know where you were, but I didn't want to read any to spoil myself.
Well, they hide the spoilery ones, I think.
Sure. Okay.
But there's an achievement for beating the whole game in less than 10 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And another achievement for beating it in less than 5 hours.
Damn. So
you can get 2 achievements at once if you do it 5 hours first try.
Why would they... Why don't they give an achievement for the other thing then?
I don't know. It's fucking weird. There's those 2 achievements, and there's also a sub 20 hour 100% achievement as well.
Ooh.
But now I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of burnt out on this game. If I was fully completing it, I'd probably get those, but whatever.
Yeah, being burnt out is...
It's a fun game though. I enjoyed my single player experience. You know, seeing all the characters you come across along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Cool boss fights. Some actually quite challenging. Took me a couple tries.
Yeah.
Not as hard as Dark Souls, except for Zote the Mighty. But yeah, fun game.
I feel like every boss fight I've done is either like first try beat or first few tries I'm just like, oh shit, and then I'm just like, and then I easily beat it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, now I know what they're doing now, so I'll just beat it.
Like there was the ghost. There's like the red ghost guy as you're leaving the area that you're talking about. Like you get, there's like a dream sequence that you get the dream nail and then you're leaving and there's this red guy that's just like, oh, are you trying to leave? You shouldn't try to leave. And you challenge him to a fight and then you beat him. But like the first fight I was like, oh shit. Okay. And I got destroyed. And then I was just like, oh, this is easy as fuck.
Yeah, the dream sequence stuff is pretty cool. I'm not going to get into it though, because that's for you to play. So
that's for me to play. But yeah, I think it does. I think it does pass the speedrun test. Or like, I could definitely.
Dude. If Zote the Mighty didn't burn me out, I would have probably ran this game. Well, not like seriously ran, but like done like a fast casual playthrough.
Yeah, I can. I guess the speedrun test is more like, can you see somebody sitting down not necessarily you, but like,
it definitely passes that test.
Yeah, for sure. And just like Sunshine does, and I feel like Relicta might, but maybe not. Maybe not yet.
You know what? I think Bowser's Inside Story would be the most fun Mario and Luigi game to run just because of Bowser's punch. And like boosting with I don't know, it's just so much fun just boosting around corners with his punch as Bowser. Yeah. You're just blasting through. It's just, I don't know. And actually, speaking of Hollow Knight speedrunning, I'm actually one of the people I'm rooming with at Glitch Infinite is a Hollow Knight speedrunner.
Oh, damn.
Visuals.
Oh, yeah?
So that's just fun fact, throwing it out there.
So you get to talk to him about Zote the Mighty and how bullshit
I get to talk to him about how I hate Zote the Mighty. There you go.
So before we wrap up, do you want to talk about Biango 8?
I have the record, and you tried for the record, and you couldn't get it.
That's true. I played for four. I think I played for 4.5 hours and couldn't quite get it. I'm like 0.23 off, I think.
So Biango 8.
We've done the world record history of Biango 8 in Super Mario Sunshine. We've done it on the podcast
in season 1 because both Sid and I actually had the Biango 8 record like in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one time I was grinding it like very briefly a couple years ago, and I got a time that was like, yeah, that felt really good. Let's go. This was back when ILs weren't as established. There wasn't even hardly an IL spreadsheet at this point.
I don't think there was an IL spreadsheet at this point. No.
Yeah, I guess there wasn't.
Because there wasn't any in-game time for it.
I guess there was an in-game timer, but it was like the older version of it.
Maybe.
Where I think it might have like timed it from when gameplay starts versus like the opening cutscene and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I got a really good time for that time period. And I looked up, like, I wonder what Sid has, and realized, oh shit, this is faster than I thought. I'm only 0.15 faster than him.
Yeah.
I assumed I like destroyed him, and it was like I barely beat him.
Yeah, you like uploaded one PB. It's just like, sorry, Sid, and
I put sorry, Sid, in the description before realizing how fast yours was. So now it just looks silly. But yeah, in more recent times, levels got a lot more optimized. The main optimization is the rocket rollout from the lily pad to the rope.
Well, like it's not even recent. Like we even talked about it on the podcast when we did the world record history.
Yeah. Nindide was doing that back in the day.
Yeah, and it's just it was just one of those things where I watched it and I'm just like, would you ever do this in RTA? Nah.
No, even now I wouldn't do it now.
No, like
it's way too easy to miss the coin when you do it.
What's funny is that like the more time goes by, the more I think about it. I'm just like, I could do some of these strats in runs. Like I'm just like, but like why? Like why would you do it?
Yeah, why
would you
risk like I mean that's what Sunshine is coming to is like 10 times harder strat to save 1 second.
Exactly.
But yeah, so like Fred Dish had the record before I started my Bianco 8 grind.
Yeah.
55.38 or no, 4.8. Wait.
He has a 3.8 now.
Yeah, he has a 3.8.
Yeah.
And I started grinding it one day because like I wanted to just get more ILs. I had like a really old, not even having video, like a 59 from forever ago on there. So I was like, yeah, I'll try to improve this. Why not?
Yeah.
And so I was grinding it during like a re-listen to a podcast before, like to make sure it was a good audio, as I always do.
Mm-hmm. The pinkish pod.
And I got like a 57 or something. You know, I was improving it slowly. And then I decided to stream it because I was like, this actually seems like a fun IL to stream a Tim sub and also to get more, another excuse to get more King Boo session, like King Boo attempts in as well.
Yeah.
And I grinded and I eventually got to like a 55.7 or something. I don't remember. And I remember like,
I think that session you got a 6 something.
Maybe a 6. I don't remember.
Yeah. I think you're good.
It's a level where like, and I'm sure you relate to this, it's extremely easy to get a high 55.
Yes.
But pushing to like mid or lower, it's like so difficult.
Oh, I got like a jump. I got from 8.8 to 5.8. I'm just like, oh, okay, this is free. And then I was just like stuck at low 56s, high 55s.
Dude, I hate that.
And I'm just like, fuck.
I hate like that false sense of hope.
Yeah.
I think I had that going into the stream because I think I had like a high 55 going into the stream.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, I can beat Fred, no problem, probably. But then like 3 hours later, I had like 55.6. I'm like, fuck, dude. Fred's good.
Fred's good.
But yeah, there are like really, really minor strat optimizations you got to do to like to save that little extra bit off 55, like a high 55. Mm-hmm. The main one being intentionally delaying the jump from the rope with the 6th coin to get less airtime.
Yeah.
Which is easier said than done. It's like an easier version of getting an intentional limp rocket.
Uh-huh.
I still think intentional limp rocket's way harder still.
For sure. You're right.
You know, doing this, it's a small thing that's like a bit harder, but you got to do it.
I was talking about
top
that.
of like, also you got to have like a really fast beginning too. So
I was talking about that on stream where just like you can use the rope mechanics to delay your jump, but you can't like just delay your jump. You might be sitting there being like, why don't you just wait to jump? You can't because then the rope won't like the jump will be too shit.
Yeah, there's a specific window of time, maybe like a couple of frames, where it shortens it, but doesn't shorten it too much to where like you don't like even reach the coin.
Yeah, and you have to like kind of fuck with the rope mechanics to have Mario just kind of like stutter.
And
or at least that's what I've been doing.
To piss off Ginger again, you got to get a feel for it.
you do have to get a feel for it. Ropes is definitely a feel for mechanic.
Ropes is like the ultimate feel for it thing in the game. Yeah.
That's why
we don't know what the frame data of ropes is. We just know, have the camera tilted slightly away and hold up, and Mario will face forward.
If I'm the person that knows the most about, or one of the people that knows most about the mechanics, then it's a get a feel for it thing.
Yeah,
because I'm the get a feel for it guy. So,
but after like a 3-hour stream, I didn't get the record, but then the next day, I did like an hour and a half more of attempts, and I got 55.28 miraculously.
Yeah.
Really proud of that time. And then Sid's been trying to steal it from me, but you know.
Well, I did see you do some hundos, and I was just like, this guy.
You saw me lose a minute in Bianco hundo in a run. And you're like, this fucking guy's Bianco 8 record? What the hell?
I gotta be able to get this.
I can get like a 53. God damn.
I did a 4.5 hour grind. The only reason I loaded Bianco 8 that evening was because you were talking, or your RTA attempt of Bianco 8 was like pretty decently fast, even though you had an obvious fuck up. And I'm like, oh, maybe his RTA strat is better than the one that I do.
I have good RTA strats. The problem is that the exact strats I use, the red menace is like always there.
Yeah.
I gotta find some way to avoid that final red menace. I still haven't figured it out yet, but it'll be a perfect RTA strat then.
So I like booted up Biango 8 and then I just kind of started doing the IL. I didn't even test the thing that I wanted.
You're like, I'm gonna try this RTA thing and I'm gonna try to beat Trey's time. Let's go.
So I did a 4.5 hour stream grind, I guess, and then got. Like everybody rated me, which is funny because I'm just like I'm doing Biango 8. Like Chillin' Dude rated me, you rated me, SB rated me. I'm just sitting there going like I'm just doing Biango 8. Don't worry about it. Like it's fine.
But hey, you solidly have third place. So.
I have third place now. After
it's a medal. It's a medal.
I improved my time by like a second or so because
it's better than Fetch and Shadow Mario. It's no slouch.
Hey, I bopped Fetch in any percent.
True. That's also true. Yeah, you've been improving any percent like crazy.
Hey, but like that was the goal, right? Like to bop Fetch for a minute, and then somebody was just like, "Oh, you bopped Fetch." I'm just like, "Oh yeah, that was my goal. I was gonna try to bop Fetch."
I didn't know that was even a goal, but yeah, I guess it was.
Yeah, just like in the back of my head, it was it was there. But yeah, maybe I'll try to. The reason I stopped, like it felt like it was starting to become one of those 13-hour grind streams, and
I legit thought you were gonna stream for like 10 hours.
Yeah, it was becoming that, but then my R button started sticking.
Okay.
So like, thank God, kind of. I still have to clean my controller still. But
it was
like,
a sign from above. Don't kill yourself over this one level.
Like every so often, it was just like, oh, your R button's sticking, and then it's like 10 minutes later, it's like, oh, your R button's sticking. I'm just
so
like, oh, okay, I'll be done.
Isopropyl alcohol in that.
Yeah, I got to take it apart. Yeah. I might do it like right after this pod and make sure that's good, or I'll play some Relicta and say fuck it, I'll do it tomorrow.
Or I'll just quit Sunshine forever and not do it.
I'll just never play the game.
I think
again.
My controller's too fucked up. I'm too lazy to fix it. I think I'm just done. I'm out.
I'm too lazy. It's
been a ride, but I'm retiring now.
Isn't it crazy that like Smash players go through controllers? So I've been using the same JP White for 5 years. And it's like perfectly fine. Every now and then the R button sticks and I take it apart to wash it.
That's the thing is that like not only are Smash players much harder on the controller, but they are much more scrupulous. Is that the right word?
Unless I need follow-up words to know if the context is right.
For some reason, I was using scrupulous as like scrutinize. Except, I don't know. No. I think it's a different word though.
Yeah.
Anyways, they have to scrutinize the feel of their controller because there's like snapback.
Yeah.
Like everything has to be just right for them. But I mean, hopefully like those Panda controllers fix that issue. We'll see.
Well, whenever they come out.
Whenever COVID stops ruining supply chain stuff.
I have been asked, it's like, are Sunshine controllers similar to Melee control? Like, do you need a Sunshine controller specifically? And I'm like, no.
Okay, there was a period where I was very particular about my Sunshine controller. And then actually making the spin jump video, I realized that I was kind of full of shit on like the dropping spin puts thing.
Yeah.
Because like I couldn't find a single controller that actually like genuinely dropped spin puts.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was just bad at spin jumps before.
I think so too. Like I was always before, I guess before your spin jump video, even like now, whatever. I like whenever I drop a spin put, I'm just like, oh, that was probably on me. Like
I think every time I drop one now, I can always rationalize like why it didn't work.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I think it was a little bit too late, or like I was too slow on it, or something.
Do you ever? Do you have this like instance where you're like doing runs and you keep dropping not spin puts, the same spin put?
Yeah, and I have a theory recently as to why doing a spin jump on that one mushroom pedal in Pianta 8 is so hard. Because you do a side flip there. The like before GWKD onto like the rocket platform.
Yeah.
I think because the specific way your camera is facing affects how much of a rotation you need on your control stick.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cardinal, like whether you're facing one way, it may require just over 180, but if you're facing this way, it requires like nearly 135 or like 225. Sorry.
Yeah.
And maybe like the specific camera angle on that section requires like more of a spin than usual, is what I think.
Okay.
That being said, I switched to side flip there, so fuck it.
Yeah, side flip is way easier and like faster.
That is legit the one place where a side flip is easier than a spin jump.
And it's faster.
And it's faster, yeah. So why not do it? So.
Yeah, I used to do a spin jump there, and I was like pretty good at it. And then I saw like JPEP when he was working on Pianta 8. I was just like, oh, okay, then just do that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I got so tired of failing that spin jump. I was like, what does Sid do? Oh, he does a side flip? Let me try that. Oh, it's easier. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Did you try the IL at all?
I practiced it. I didn't really do the IL, no.
Okay.
I'm not like doing a spin jump dive onto the leaf and stuff. Like, I'm just doing RTA strats.
Oh, well, the spin jump dive onto the leaf is actually like really easy. Like I do
Well,
that
yeah,
RTA.
but like if your angle is off, you might just kill yourselves.
Well, just don't. I do for the record. If you ever do try the IL, I do 2 spins of the control stick.
Oh, okay.
I like when I jump there and land, I do 2 spins before I land and then do it.
You're like buffering of your spin.
Yeah, just to like make sure for sure I get a spin input. Because
Interesting.
I think it is one of those instances where the cardinal directions are just kind of fucked up. Where if you do one rotation, it's just like not quite good enough. So I just do 2. And
yeah, I think I haven't grinded Pianta 8 yet because I'd be like, God damn, I'm so shit compared to Sid.
Yeah, well, like it's funny.
Your time is so good there.
That's like my one like Freddish stopped short.
I don't want to be like grinding, like struggling to get a 125 while you have a 118. Like, fuck, dude. This is demoralizing.
Anyway.
And again, I feel that way with hundos, so it's whatever.
Dude, hundos are fucking hard as shit.
I suck at Bianco hundo. I struggle to get sub 220s. It's tough.
You bonk on flowers twice, and I'm sitting there going like, been there.
Okay, I have learned to not do that. Now.
Never dive roll out into the flowers in Bianco.
I've learned what not to do at least, so I think we're good. Anyway, I think we can wrap this up.
Yeah, we're good. I'm good with that. I wanted to talk about a little bit of Bianco 8, just to cover that we've been like playing it and stuff. And
originally I was gonna wrap up at just Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Goodbye.
Well, you know what? We can do that. You can do that right now if you want to do that.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Goodbye.